Well, it's up and down. It's been like a roller coaster, hasn't it, really? Results and dealing with everything else that's off the pitch as well as on the pitch. But I've enjoyed every minute of it, to be honest. And obviously, the challenge now is ongoing. I get this last game out the way and get some players in and, decisions to be made on other players. So that's difficult in itself.
How much has that been the focus of your attention, that sort of medium to long term planning? And is it something that can be dealt with immediately after, not quite after the full time whistle, but, once this last game is finished?
I think it's been ongoing, to be honest. We know we need players in. We know we need to change plays as well. So you've got one eye on that, and then one eye on the next game, which is obviously the most important thing as well. Like it's last game of the season, but you're sort of trying to juggle both things, to be honest. So, but yeah, both of them is just as important as each other.
We'll talk about the game in a second, but just in terms of players' futures, there's a fair number out of contract. I think there's a fair number who've got options in the club's favour. Is it the case that you'll discuss those things about the future with those players after the season, or have those conversations already happened and already started?
No, it'll be after the season, so it'll be after the game, so over the Sunday, Monday.
Do you know who you want to keep and who's going to be going, and how hard are those conversations going to be, which I guess will be new to you in terms of actually sitting there and having those conversations?
Yeah, it's definitely hard because, as I said, I've done it at 18 and under 21 level, but never done it at a first team level. So they are difficult conversations to have, but one that we have to have as a club, especially going forward and bringing new players, as I touched on earlier on. So they're difficult, but I've experienced it myself as a player. You feel like it's the end of the world, but I know it's not myself, my experience. So it is difficult, but it's one that I'm not sort of looking forward to doing, having these conversations. But you have to do it. It's part of football.
There are some pretty big name, pretty experienced players on that list of guys who are expiring this summer. Are these difficult decisions in the sense of players' previous service and what they've got on their CV already? And might there be some surprises for supporters when you release your retained list?
I think it is difficult for all the players. So we just have to just sort of wait and see what happens.
Andy Holt said in his interview with BBC Radio Lancashire a few weeks ago that there'd be a new approach to recruitment and contracts and all that kind of stuff. I think he used the word collegiate, where people would sit down and have a conversation, and it would be, input from different places. How is that working out, and what dictates these decisions? Is there a financial aspect to it?
There's always a financial aspect to it, but in terms of as a club, we all sit down and everyone's got an opinion on who we should look at, who should recruit. But obviously, mine's the final say in terms of trying to pick these players. So everyone will have an input, and it's been working quite well at the moment. So we'll see going forward how it works.
Just onto the game then, how much is a home win something that's on your sort of to-do list? I know you always speak about the supporters after every game and the input that they have and what they put into it. How good would it be to send them away into the summer with 3 points?
Well, that's the biggest thing. That's what you want to do. I think in any game of football, I think you want to win for the fans. Wouldn't say it's more so for yourself. The players want to do it. We want to get over the line. It's the last one. Want to send them all away as happy as what you've just said. So it's important to us. It's another 3 points to play for. But as I said, the fans have been brilliant all season, and to get them 3 points Saturday and send them away happy, it'll be fantastic.
Clearly, you already know a lot of the fans, and Accrington it's an unusual club, isn't it? Because you actually get to know these people personally over the years. Has it been different since you became manager? How have you been received by the particularly the ones that travel away and go to all the games?
Outstanding. I didn't expect nothing less, to be honest. And as you said, you sort of know them on a personal level because there's been times when there's 61 there. There's been times when there's a few hundred there. There's been times when there's you're touching on 1,000. So it's been good because you go over and you get to know these people, and it's the same ones sort of that come all the time. I can name a few of them if you like. That you sort of go over and have handshakes and hugs with and stuff like that. It'll be the same Saturday, as I said. Our fans are brilliant, and you go in the bar afterwards and share a drink with them and have a chat and listen to their opinions because I value it as well. You want feedback. You want to know what they're thinking because they're the paying customer. You want them to be happy. You want them to be happy with the football, the players that are on the pitch, the players that are coming in. They sort of ask you questions on who's going to who's injured, when they're coming back and everything else. So they're a massive part of this club, the fans. And as I said, the fans have been fantastic for us.
And of course, Tranmere want to sign off their season with 3 points as well. They're not just going to say, after you have the 3 points. What's your expectations of them in this game?
Yeah, well, they're a good side. They've won the last 2. So they're playing a certain way now, different formation. Might get a surprise tomorrow, might change it. I don't know. Might change the personnel. But they've won the last 2 games. So we're looking forward to that challenge, and we'll have a game plan for that.
And I'm just interested, we talked about sort of medium-term planning and having 2 things on your radar, the future and this game. What's your summer going to look like? I don't imagine that managers get too much time to go, the phone's going off, I'm going on my holidays.
Well, it's the first one for me, so I can imagine it's going to be hectic, Dan. Very hectic. So, as I said, it's a challenge that, I'm looking forward to. And just we'll wait and see what happens with the future with players coming in.
Yeah, how much are you already getting the agents on the phone and players that are out of contract and X person might be available next season? How much of that of your time is that now taking up?
A lot of the time. I mean, it's non-stop. Obviously you've got to get agents there doing their job, so you have to do your job in terms of doing all your research on the players. So that's what I've been doing. Went to a game the other night as well, so to get eyes on players. So and it gives you more of an insight when you see them live rather than just watching them on a computer or on the software that we use. So yeah, that's a challenge. So yeah, it's going to be hectic this summer, definitely.
And just the last thing on that sort of future and looking towards next season, when do you expect the coaching staff situation to be resolved, and what's that likely to look like? Because yourself and Andy Dibble have been, you've had a few plates spinning in recent weeks.
Yeah, well, we need 1 or 2 in, so we know that anyway. It's a big task, but at the same time, it's hopefully we'll have that done before season starts.